Hey guys, welcome along to another show. Coming up today, we'll get into the inbox, and also, I've got something Shaun might actually want to buy.
Better be cheap.
This is Double Tap, where blind people talk tech. Here's Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Oh, hello. I haven't done that in a while. How are you, Shaun Preece?
I'm okay, Stephen Scott. How are you?
I'm all right.
You're very chilled
Matthew
sounding,
McConaughey over here. I'm all right. What's going on?
You sound chilled today. I don't like it. It's off-putting.
Sorry. I'm very sorry. I am definitely not off-putting. I can guarantee you of that. Hey, listen, earlier we were talking about NVDA, of course, the screen reader of choice for many out there now.
Other screen readers are available.
At what cost? Anyway, seriously, at what cost? I'm still confused. But yeah, NVDA, I've been using that a lot. And you were talking about an add-on, because, add-ons, they're great. The NVDA add-on store, which now has a web interface, by the way. Do you see this in the latest update? It now has a web interface. You can visit it outside of NVDA. I don't know why you would do that, but you can.
And you can install from outside of the...
Oh, don't ask me questions like that. I don't know. But you can browse it.
Thank you. Well, you can download the add-on packages. Basically, they're called NVDA add-on as the extension, but they're just zip files. Anyway, there's a little bit of tech for you. I've been using an add-on called Audio Manager, Stephen Scott. And I gotta say, I think I've mentioned it before here, but it is really good because it means you can mute your microphone, you can change and choose your playback or recording devices, you can change the volume, you can change the default devices, you can change the output of NVDA on the fly, you can set it all back to how it was before you mucked around with it, all with keyboard shortcuts.
That's a useful shortcut to remember before you start.
Oh, absolutely it is. But yeah, you can even choose, you can cycle through all the apps that are running and choose and change the audio devices per app. It's really, really cool. Now, it does take a little bit of time to remember all those keyboard shortcuts, but once you've got them, like I use it all the time here now to mute my microphone every time I want to clear my throat.
Well, that was kind of how we got into this because, you and I need to cough a lot during the show. I don't know why I do this. It's a bit of a habit.
We're older gentlemen.
No, I think it's just a habit I've got into, to be perfectly honest. And so being able to access the mute button quickly is good. And I have to say, my little recording mixing console here that I use, which is called a Rodecaster Pro 2, completely inaccessible to anyone with no vision. So great, absolutely brilliant. I love it. I just love having sighted help all the time.
There is a physical mute button, right? And it is easy to use.
Well,
it's
yes,
fine.
That's one thing. But what I'm going to say is that with the latest beta software that they've put out on this thing, the mute buttons don't work very well. So I could press it, and it might activate the mute or not. I've coughed over a few interviews by accident as a result of that.
I did notice one last time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Or it doesn't come back on. And I can't quite see the lights to see if it's on or off, so that's the problem. So I'm kind of always trying to see. I always do this thing. You might see me look off. If you're watching the show on YouTube, you might see me looking off. I don't know what I'm looking at. I do this all the time.
What are you looking at?
Do you ever do that? Do you ever just, I know you were saying the other day you got rid of your monitor.
Yes, I have no idea if I'm looking at the camera right now, and I keep losing my place and just wandering off.
No, but I'm talking about, on the day-to-day show. You always do that. Is my point. You're always wandering off.
Oh.
You are honestly, you're the worst.
Are you shaming me? Are you blind shaming me?
No, this has nothing to do with blindness.
How dare you?
Because you cannot stand still. I honestly feel like when I'm with you, I feel like getting one of those little things that you get for kids so they don't run off. And you sort of tie it onto yourself.
I would love that, by the way.
Like a little, what do they call that? That little...
The reins.
The reins, yeah.
Yeah,
so I could just keep you in check so I know where you are. Because you just wander off. You cannot stand still. God, we were on a plane and you wouldn't sit still on that either.
I have
Worse
to
than
go
a
for
child.
A little lap around the plane. Yeah.
At least because you're older age, I can actually legally whiskey lace your Diet Coke so you get some sleep.
All right, that's enough of that. What were you going to talk about anyway? How did we get onto this?
Anyway, I was talking about mute buttons, right?
Oh, so, where do you look?
No. Well, I was talking about getting rid of the monitor. And what I was saying is, you're probably still looking at that monitor when you're using the computer.
Oh, all the time.
Even though it's not there.
I just expect, and I can't really see anything anyway, apart from, dim flashing lights. Nothing usable at all. But Yeah, absolutely. I'm still imagining what's happening as I'm using the computer.
Yeah.
I just can't get out of that. It's strange, right?
But the interesting thing with this audio manager is if you're someone who has, say, speakers on your computer, or like me, perhaps has a monitor with built-in speakers, it's the future.
So you can quickly change your playback device.
Yeah,
Speakers,
you can switch
monitor,
between that and
headphones.
perhaps a headset. Because I've got those Open Meet headphones that I got from Shokz that I bought from them. I know you don't like them. I like them.
They are. But I don't know.
Audio-wise, I have to say, audio-wise...
The microphone was awful.
No, okay, the microphone, you don't like the microphone, but that's because you only ever hear me talking to you through this extremely expensive microphone sitting in front of me.
Is it extremely expensive?
I don't know. I didn't pay for it. But, you know, I'm sure
you
it
mean you
is.
didn't pay for it? Should we dig into that?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. I am not going to tell you I found this in a box somewhere and I use it every day. In fact, actually, I did find this microphone in a box somewhere. It's what's called a shotgun microphone. That's what this is called.
Is that what you're using?
I don't use I used to use like a big broadcast style Neumann thing. No, I don't use that anymore. I use this. This is a shotgun microphone made by Sennheiser. And I think I may have borrowed it from Mark Aflalo.
Well, that's all right. That's okay. Friends borrow things all the time.
You know,
it's
like
fine.
he lives in Montreal.
Yeah,
and I
you'll
live
give
in
it back
the
to
UK.
him when you see him next.
I'll see it. Yeah, when I see him next. And, you know, I think I'm busy for the next few years. So it's fine. I can hold on to it. No, it's a really nice microphone, actually. But that's the big thing. You're used to hearing me through this beautiful microphone. But, you know, then we get on a Zoom call and you're like, oh, it sounds terrible. It sounds
sounds
rubbish.
like you're on an old 1920s telephone.
It's not as bad
awful.
as that. It's not as bad as
terrible.
that. Okay, it's not great. But here's the thing. They're actually really nice headphones. As headphones go, and the fact that they're not in ear, I'm really impressed by them. I think I like the style of the fact that because the band goes over your head and not behind your head, I actually really like them. And the USB-C connector you get, and of course you get USB-A as well if you want. Kind of wish I'd bought that now because all the machines I'm using, I thought would be USB-C. But then I realized I'm running out of ports all the time. I'm running because you only have so many USB-C ports available to you. And then you end up plugging in a dock, and what has it got? USB-A. So anyway... I bought an adapter so I could plug my USB-C into my USB-A to plug into the USB-A port.
Easy enough. Yes.
I know, but it's ridiculous.
Oh, sorry. You want USB-C everywhere. You know that? Sorry, I'm going to go off on an aside. That HDMI audio extractor I bought the other week, powered by micro USB.
Oh, that's dreadful.
I mean,
no. Sorry, that's wrong. That is just wrong in 2025.
I tried to plug in the USB-C and realized it wasn't going to go in. And then as soon as I figured out it was micro USB, I was really upset. And I thought, God, how old is this thing? But it isn't. I double checked and it's not like from 10 years ago or anything. So yeah, isn't it strange how quickly we like, oh no, micro USB. Oh no, I couldn't possibly.
But anyway, my Open Meet headphones, really nice. To use them when you're on a call or perhaps you're editing audio, whatever. Not much lag at all. I thought there might be a little bit, not too bad at all. Perfectly usable. And I will say, you know, you can obviously connect them to your iPhone as well or your Android phone. You can update the firmware on them to keep them up to date. Someone actually got in touch to say they were thinking of buying them. They did in fact buy them, and they ended up sending them back because they kept falling off their head. Right, because the way it works is it doesn't have the traditional kind of spongy bit at the top. Like most headphones have a soft headband at the top, so that I've just patted my own head for some reason. Well done,
Rub
Steve.
your belly.
But you usually get that soft bit at the top. Well, instead of that, on the Open Meets, what you have is it's actually on the side. So it's on the side of the band that goes around your head, which is kind of weird. Now on there are two little foamy bits. I don't want to use too many technical terms around here, but foamy bits that kind of stick out, and that's what rests against the side of your head. And in the packaging, there is more foamy bits, bigger foamy bits for different size of heads.
I've lost all interest.
So basically, as I went back to this particular individual and said, maybe you should have tried that in the box, and they didn't realize that was in there, so they're thinking of trying it again, because then it will stay on your head. Because the problem is what they do, they even tell you in the video when you're setting them up, you know, basically nod your head back and forward, and if they fall off, then you need to adjust that, you need to change that.
Yeah, sounds awful, but okay. Good.
No, do you know, they're very comfortable to wear.
No.
You wouldn't even know you were wearing them, because they're not tight around your head.
Because you sent them back.
No. I use them every day. I love them.
Yeah, well, I didn't. So that's that.
And they sound good.
Audio
is really good. And open ear as well. But anyway, here's the thing. That audio manager you're talking about, the issue is that even when you... Because oftentimes with these headsets, when you turn them off, the audio will return to the computer. So in my case, the speakers. That doesn't happen with the Open Meets. Because the USB-C is plugged in, I think it just always thinks it's there. So
that's not good.
You have to kind of unplug the dongle all the time. So the way around that is to use an add-on like this if you're using NVDA, because then you can just switch it. Now, you could add this as a keyboard shortcut, potentially. I've done that. You could use
What do you mean?
Well, that's what I did. On the Keychron keyboard I've got, I assigned a keyboard command to that particular NVDA action. I was able to say, in the NVDA Audio Manager, Audio Manager add-on settings, whatever it is, you can go in and you can assign a keyboard shortcut to whatever whatever action you want. So maybe it's toggling the output. You could do that. You could have it toggle the microphone or whatever. You can do all that. So why didn't you do that?
All right, sorry, because I don't
it's
need
difficult to remember all the commands.
No, I haven't got the terrible Open Meet headset. It's not an issue for me. But yes, you're absolutely right.
Why are you using Audio Manager then?
Because of the muting. Mainly because of the muting. Because
I forgot where we started. Right, okay.
Yes, thank you. Can I actually say something now? Is there a bit of a gap? I'm a copy. No. The Rodecaster, as you mentioned, does have a mute button, and you press it, and it's all great. Even the Stream Deck, which I was using, you can assign a button there to mute the mic. But you never know if it has muted or not. Right? With the Audio Manager, it actually tells me in my ears, microphone muted, microphone unmuted. So I know exactly what state it's in at any time. It's really good, and I can review it as well. If I press the Control, Windows, Alt, and number 1 key on the numpad, it tells me the name of the default recording device that I'm currently on, and if it's muted or unmuted. Very, very handy. There you go.
You realise I actually didn't think that was boring. I just wanted to get back at you.
No, I know. You were just
criticising my Open Meet headphones.
You were just being awful. Yeah.
No, you criticised my Open Meet, so there was going to be repercussions for that.
Check it out. Anyway, Audio Manager on the add-on store is very good.
Do you know what makes me laugh? People get in touch with this show all the time and they say, could you give us audio chapters or podcast chapters so we can follow along? How on earth would you podcast chapter that segment? Because that was basically 2 reviews smashed together. Yeah. We did NVDA Audio Manager. We mentioned a keyboard in there, and we mentioned headphones.
And we started with the muting thing, and then went somewhere else, and then back to muting. So no, forget it.
No,
sorry, we're not that show.
Get those. It's not going to make any sense. It would take too long to prise this apart. AI has no idea what this show is about. I actually think I often think when we put the transcription through sometimes with ChatGPT, I just expect it to come back with a question mark. I don't know. I've got nothing.
Who knows?
They talk about
that is
stuff.
The test.
I mentioned keyboards. And you know me, I love a keyboard. I mentioned
Keychron.
Well, I mentioned keyboards, and this was leading me towards this, you see. It's called transition in the broadcast industry, Shaun Preece. You should
sorry.
Check it out.
All right. Sorry, Master DJ. Carry on.
Sorry, did you? All right. I just thought I heard something.
Carry on.
So, Keychron has got what they're calling the MX Keys, the Logitech MX Keys Killer.
Whoa. As we all know, the Logitech MX Keys is my personal keyboard of choice. I think it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. I introduced you to it. I introduced everyone to it. Everyone went out and bought one. I mean, not everyone. Every single person.
Logitech?
Yeah, every single person went out and bought one of these keyboards. In fact, some people bought 6 of them. Hi, Sonia.
They're not cheap either.
No, they're not. They're great keyboards. In fact, it's what I have right in front of me right now. It's interesting because I have the joy of having my broadcast desk, as I call it. Other people just call it a desk. And it's got the Logitech on it. It means on the other desk I've got behind me my, sitting doing whatever it is I do, to pretend I'm busy to keep away from household chores. Desk. That is on that. It can be a range of different things. And so what am I using just now over there? A Logitech G915 TKL keyboard, which you didn't like when you got hands on with it.
No, awful. 10 keys less. Don't like it. And the G series,
a budget keyboard.
Isn't the G for gaming?
It is, but yeah, I don't know. I don't use any of that stuff. But anyway, here's the thing. Keychron have brought out, because I wanted it. And also the other one I had, which didn't have 10 keys less. I mean, ironically, it did. Because that was the keyboard, if you remember. I had the G915 that wasn't a TKL, a 10 keys less keyboard. But it was, ironically, 10 keys less because when I pulled it out of the cupboard, it went, and then all the keys came off. So it actually was 10 keys less by the end. And so I just bought a 10 keys less keyboard. I know, it's very strange.
Yes.
No one understands my keyboard obsession.
No, I'm not even going to try to understand. Carry on.
But here's the thing.
So
if you were looking for... Now, Shaun, I know you well enough to know that you like a bargain.
Oh, I do. Yes. Now you've got me. Well done. You pulled me in.
I pulled you back in. So... I was trying to remember that line from the Mafia film. Was it The Godfather? I never watched The Godfather. But they tried to get out and then they pulled you back in. But I don't want to do accents because I feel...
No, leave it.
I'd wake up with a horse head next to me.
Okay. Quickly now, chapter markers. Think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Keychron, the new keyboard.
So they've got one called the B6 Pro. And if you check this out, this is basically, I'm not going to say rip-off, but it's exactly the same in almost every single way as the MX Keys keyboard, with a couple of exceptions. So the first one being, it's not got that, perhaps that rigid, kind of more solid feel of the MX Keys. If you've ever tried one of their Logitech keyboards like the K950 I've mentioned before, which is more of a plasticky type keyboard, I think kind of similar to the one you had that was the solar one.
Yes, the K760, I believe.
Yeah.
At the time. That was a great keyboard, by the way.
Great keyboard, yeah.
Solar powered. Yeah.
Bit more plasticky, right? But again, it's
cheaper.
It's like sitting on your desk, right? I mean, it's not like you're taking
around
it around.
$50, I think it was.
That's right.
Canadian. Yeah.
Well, that's what's happened here. So the Keychron B6 Pro is gone. It's probably been stolen by the rats who've stolen everything else from that shed. They're having a field day on eBay. But yeah, so the Keychron B6 Pro is kind of similar in that sense. It's got that cheaper plasticky feel, but it's got the same keyboard, same type of keyboard, scissor switch. It has the concave keys. Very similar design. The only major difference in terms of design is that the function row keys are actually full height, whereas it's more half height on the MX Keys, if that bothers you. Okay. So, again, it can connect to 3 devices. It can do all the same things as the MX Keys. It has full customization control through the Keychron, what is it they call the web command center, or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but it's kind of accessible, but really complicated.
Yeah, it's one of those accessible but not usable. Like, for example, you can change the keys on all of it. You can customize it any way you like. But the challenge is knowing what you're changing the key from to. That's the problem. So you choose a key and you go, right, hang on, but what am I changing it to? And trying to figure that out was a bit difficult. Terrible blind person. I used Ira to do it for me.
No, that's cheating, sir.
Sorry.
Probably quicker and easier. Yeah, because basically you navigate through, tab through every entire key on the keyboard is on the screen. Tab through, choose the one you want, and then somewhere else on the screen, there's probably options what you're going to change it to. But of course, you've got to navigate through all the rest of the keys. It's just a lot of work. I'm sure you can figure it out.
Keychron, if you're listening,
landmarks.
I know you're not listening to this, or if you are, here's a little thing. If you could create a drop-down list option, that would solve all of that for us. Yeah. Because then we could just, like from this to this, just do drop-downs. Check out Sharp keys. That's a great way of doing it, because that's ultimately the same idea, right? From to. That's all we want. And that changes the keyboard. Now, of course, you've then got I think you've got backlighting options on it. I'm not sure if you do. Again, I don't care. I'd rather it didn't. And then if I do have it, it immediately gets turned off. But yeah, basically it's the same. It is the same in every other way. But the price is the biggest difference.
Because lay it on me.
You're talking over $100 for the MX Keys. And you can sometimes get it on sale, get it a little bit cheaper. I seen this keyboard on this new Keychron B6 Pro for £35 on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
Now, that was a Black Friday sale. It may have gone back up a little bit, but they're saying it's on average $50 US. So it's going to hover around, and that's probably $60, $70 Canadian. So you're probably talking, even on a sale, you're going to get maybe down to 40 or even 50 Canadian dollars for this.
Oh, no, I'm going to have to try this out. I'm going to have to try it out because I I do like the Keychron. I know I was almost pointing and laughing at your obsession with Keychron. I've got to say, actually typing on it is really nice. It is a really nice typing experience, but this is going to be different.
This is, because this is not a mechanical keyboard.
No, but I do love the MX Keys anyway.
Yeah.
I do love it. And, you know, we talked about the accessibility of the Keychron software. Let's call it software. It's web-based, but let's call it software for changing things and settings. Let's be honest, the Logitech Options Plus software is an accessibility mess anyway.
Yeah.
You can get around it, but it's not great, especially when I'm trying to set you can customize certain buttons, not every single key like you can with the Keychron, but you can customize certain buttons, the entire function key and above the numpads. But it's doable, but it's not great. So, there's not much between that. I'd love to try this out.
Do you know, I don't know if it's possible, but I'm just thinking for people who might be interested and, in any of the Keychron stuff, if they were able to demo that software online, but I don't think you can you? You have to have a Keychron keyboard connected.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it detects the keyboard, and then you can go through, because there's different options, I'm guessing, for different models. So, yeah. With the one I've got, the one I stole off you, the Keychron, I think you can make macros with that one as well.
Yeah, you can
run macros. Yeah. Can you do that with this B6 Pro?
I don't know is the short answer to that.
Because that
I
would
imagine
be
you
absolutely
probably
amazing.
I imagine you can. I mean, I know that, for example, there was some interesting stuff. There was one I was looking at. There's another one I think called the K6HE, which is very expensive. It's kind of over, you're talking at least $280 Canadian. I mean, the one I got was about that price, the Q6 Max, which is a gorgeous keyboard. That's the one that you tried, and it's like that. It's got that metal case.
Yeah, it feels like it's made out of marble, that thing.
Yeah,
that is not moving anywhere.
Ton. Yeah, it's a lovely keyboard. The only thing I'm not so keen on with it is the height of it. I mean, I did have to buy a custom Keychron wrist rest because it is quite a high up keyboard.
Oh, it's like using a typewriter.
It is. Yeah, it is. And it's not the most ergonomic. So if you've got a wrist rest on it, that's absolutely fine. I did buy in the Black Friday sale. This is something, my keyboard obsession, it knows no bounds. So not only did I didn't buy a new keyboard, I didn't buy a Keychron B6 Pro. I'm going to let you buy it because I think you will.
Yes.
But, especially at those prices. But I did buy a wrist rest for my MX Keys.
Oh.
Now,
right.
The thing is with a wrist rest, what you normally get is a little, foam thing that just sits in a little rectangle that sits in front of your keyboard.
Yeah.
The issue I have with the MX Keys is that it doesn't have a great height to it. It doesn't have feet on the bottom of it that can sort of prop it up. So, it's quite low to the ground. And they do say with the Keychron B6 Pro, ergonomically, that's another challenge because it's actually lower at the back than the MX Keys. So it's more flat to the ground, more like the Magic Keyboard is. Yeah, I mean, the MX Keys is pretty low.
It is, yes. I'm feeling it right now. And it does tilt up towards the function key row.
It does,
so
but
as you would
only
expect.
Marginally, right?
Yeah, but it's still very low profile. Yeah.
This is even lower. The Keychron is even lower. So it's more like a Magic Keyboard, I would say, by the sounds of it. The Apple Magic Keyboard, which are very low to the desk.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Doesn't make any difference.
But here's the thing. The thing. This wrist rest I bought has a built-in stand. So it's actually the whole thing. It's just one piece, right? And it's got a riser, if you like, keyboard stand in it, which is also...
Is it adjustable?
No. It's all like silicon, I think, or foam.
Yeah, okay.
So basically this whole thing comes along and you plonk the MX Keys on it. It gives it the height, but you also have the wrist rest. So ergonomically...
Ergonomically. Yes.
Thank you, yes. Sorry, I forgot I got it absolutely right. It will make a difference. So I think that'll be pretty cool. So just for people who, are looking for these kind of options, this is the kind of stuff, I like to dig into. I know it's very boring. I know it is. But I
wrist
like
rest.
it.
Nobody needs one.
That's a shocking statement.
No, I'm sorry. That's just the fact. No one needs a wrist rest.
Well, you don't need a bad one. You need a good one.
They don't do anything.
Wrist pads? Have you seen this? Wrist pads? You get ones
pillow for your wrists.
No, hey, wait to hear this. You actually get little clip-on or clamp-on wrist rests that go on your desk, right?
Yes.
And so that you can actually have your wrists, your arms, actually sitting on these pads whilst you type to elevate your arms.
You're so spoiled. This is it's a disgrace. I
watched too many YouTube videos that say, here's accessories you absolutely need for your desk. And clearly people are running out of ideas because now we're into this kind of stuff. But no, seriously, the wrist rest thing, I'm big into that. I think it makes a heck of a difference with the Keychron. Now, that is, of course, the other concern is the fact that it is so low to the ground, or not to the ground, but to the desk.
Yeah, it's like on the floor of your feet.
Down here. But it does seem quite interesting. I'd love you to try it because I'd love to see what you think of it in comparison.
I will
to the MX Keys
if I can still find it on sale. I'm not.
And there is another thing here, which is it is quieter than the MX Keys. It is a silent.
The MX Keys is
keyboard.
Silent.
I know, but again,
I nearly tried typing on it. Then probably would have disconnected and just left.
Don't do that. Remember what happened the last time we did that on this show? When I dropped my phone and started playing jingles all over the place.
Classic Stephen Scott.
Do you know, I was just thinking of an email we got last week from one of our listeners who said that, they had bought the laptop that was, I think it was the idea pad that was blowing up on them and the screws were popping out.
Yeah, Brandon, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring up a story. At the time I thought about it, but then I forgot to say it because that's generally how my brain works.
Of course.
It immediately falls out. Homer Simpson used to say this, one thing goes into your brain and the other thing falls out the other side.
Falls out the other side.
Well, that's pretty much my brain. And I remember you and I being on a call, and I know he won't mind me bringing his name into this, especially because the story was so hilarious. But a good friend of the show, Dominic Stansbury, one half of the duo that produced our amazing music here, Matthew Whitaker, of course, the other.
Yep, the Double Tap House Band.
The Double Tap House Band, yeah. Well, Dominic was having some computer problems. We were trying to connect with him to do a segment.
This is an awful story, by the way.
This
is an awful story.
This is a great story, actually, when you think about it. This is a great story. So there we are on a Zoom call, and we're about to try and record an interview, and we couldn't get any video from Dominic. No video at all. And I am zooming into the screen, and I'm doing my best. And we ended up bringing someone else in. I think we got Mark in, didn't we? So look, I need to get a pair of eyes in. Basically, I need a pair of eyes in here that is because something's just not right. Because he was absolutely adamant that the camera was on.
How dismissive is that? We got a pair of eyes in. Don't even know the name. Just a pair of eyes came in.
A pair of eyes. Don't know who they were attached to. We just brought them in, and we brought.
So sorry, sighted people.
Brought in the eyes, and they said, "No, there's definitely no video here." So okay, so we're trying to figure out what's going on. And all of a sudden, he was talking. Dominique is telling us.
Don't laugh. This is awful.
He is telling us that, there's something on the front of my laptop. And I thought maybe it's either something's covered up or just one of those
privacy shield.
Yeah, or either that or because he said the laptop was fairly new. And I thought maybe it's got plastic around it. Yeah. I've had this for years. We had a television that had the plastic all around it. And it was only when someone came in one day and said, do you know your TV's like covered in a plastic thing? And I'm like, is it? I had no idea.
They didn't do the peel for you, did they? That's the best bit of buying new tech.
I know, I was like,
the peel.
That was the thing, because immediately my wife and I said, leave it.
Leave it. That's
we'll
for
do
me.
This. Yeah. So
for our special
time. That was for later. That's how we rock and roll this
how
house.
Did we make that sound saucy?
I have no idea, but it was kind of. So yeah.
Yeah. So we thought
where the brain goes.
Leave it.
So
we thought something was blocking the actual front of the webcam.
And I thought it might be like a webcam cover or something like you're saying, or something like that. So he says to me, well, I can try and peel it off. And I said, okay, please do. So he proceeds to then peel off. And then next minute, I'm saying to him, oh, hang on, there's light now. There's light. So we got our eyes back on. And they're saying, yeah, but now there's something covering the screen. It's like covering the camera. What is that? We couldn't work out what it was. And I suggested, as I do, just rip it off. Just take the whole thing off. Whatever it is, it'll be fine.
Yeah, rip it off, it'll be fine. Like it's some sort of sticky plaster or something. Yeah, just do it quickly.
The eyes voice from outside said, I think that's his laptop. And I'm saying, what? What do you mean it's his laptop? It's like, I think that's the frame of his laptop screen that's actually hanging off the front of his computer right now.
The bezel around the display.
Basically, he was pulling apart his computer in front of us. and the whole frame around the laptop, the screen, was actually coming away. Well, he wasn't coming away. He was pulling it off because I was telling him to.
Yeah. You told him to ruin his brand new laptop.
Yeah.
Well done, Stephen Scott.
I am a hero.
You did just push it back and clip it back into place.
Thankfully,
It was all fine. We still didn't get any video though.
Still no video. No idea what was going on.
No, there must be
Never
a
figured
privacy
it out.
shield switch or
And
something.
so we've never spoken again.
No, we haven't.
No video, no interest.
No more music for us.
Yeah, no more music for us. The music has been disbanded. The band is disbanded.
Sorry, Dominic.
It was a funny story, though. It really was. I mean, just the idiocy of the whole thing. I know. I don't think I've laughed quite as much in a long time.
I would have been crying if that was my laptop, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think I've probably done a few things similar. I remember once years ago, and it's a long time ago, a friend of mine, I had bought a laptop from him. And he said to me, like, it's a bit dirty, but it's okay. And I was like, ugh, dirty, ugh. So I'm going to clean it. So I went into the cupboard, and I don't know if this is an international brand or not, or what it is, but it was a bottle called, I asked my mother, I said, what's a really good cleaning agent you've got in that house? Something really strong that'll do the job. And I'll need
acid.
Some kind of duster or something. She said, no problem. Some cloth. So my mum goes off and she, dispatched off to find whatever, and she comes back with this bottle of what's called Cif. Now, I've got no idea what Cif is, but I proceed to go upstairs and spray the entire laptop with it. And the laptop went from being a beautiful silver colour to white. And all the paint came off it.
Oh, well, you can't get much cleaner than that.
I have to say, not only that, all the paint came off the keycaps, off the logo came off it. I mean, the laptop looked like it was one of those. It was like something out of a Russian war movie, and by the end, it was just like this block of something.
Top secret. Yeah. Okay, no one else can use that.
Letters on it. It was unbelievable. And I used that laptop for many years. I'm not getting rid of it. That's a perfectly good machine. Unfortunately,
I actually think that's quite cool.
It is quite cool, yeah. Well, these days, they'd probably say that's a style. That's a thing. You could sell that for huge amounts of money.
Would you buy a keyboard which had no key labels on it?
Nowadays, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, who cares? I don't need it. That'd be great.
Means nothing to me anymore.
It's almost a security feature.
Look, if you're really stuck, you can insert F1 or whatever, right? And your screen reader of choice.
F1.
Or caps lock F1.
Thank you.
Well, caps lock F1 because you need to find the insert key because you have no idea what it is.
No, that's very cool. I like that idea. I'm also looking for sunglasses with no lens whatsoever. Just total.
You're so right in that. You just want blackout.
Total pure blackout, pure metal, if you like. And we could, make them into screens. You could have little screens on the outside.
I don't want to bring the mood down here, right? But I want to tell you a little story. The other night I came home. I feel good about this, but I also understand why people wouldn't feel good about this. So this is why I'm kind of, almost caveating this a little bit.
Okay.
So I come home the other night from my mum's, and it's very dark at night. I'm still wearing it's like 6 o'clock at night, which in the UK at this time of year is, basically means the sun has absolutely gone to bed and is not returning for a few months. And so pitch black, and I'm wearing my sunglasses and people think, why do you wear sunglasses? Well, cars have lights, right? Which are actually even worse today than they've ever been. They're so blinding. And so, it completely knocks me off when these lights just start flashing all over the place in front of me. Usually probably tell me not to walk in front of them. But anyway.
Get off the road.
Yeah. So there I am walking down the road. I walk home, and it's the first time in about a year, I think, that I've done it that late. I've walked out that late, or at least that dark. It wasn't that late, but in terms of the darkness. I get home, and in my head, I think that should have been really tiring and exhausting and challenging because there was no light. So really, in that moment, I have got no vision at all.
Yes.
I actually felt all right.
Oh.
Is that weird? I kind of thought I should feel scared, nervous, because when there's a little bit of light around, you've still got a little bit of, a sense of proportion of where things are. But I'm beginning to realize something here. I think I'm blind, Shaun.
Oh, welcome, brother.
Hey,
welcome to the party.
I'm here.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's interesting, isn't it? It's such a weird feeling.
Like I said, I actually feel so much more relaxed now than I ever have before. Now I've got nothing to, well, look, the fact that I'm saying I've got nothing to go off isn't actually true because I've got a bit of light perception.
Yeah. Well, me too.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really useful. But of course, any little bit of vision you can make useful. So I will caveat it with that. But I feel so much more relaxed now that I'm not trying to look and see where I'm going because I just can't. I haven't got anything useful. I can't see a van in front of me. So yeah, I feel exactly the same. And I feel so much more freer now because I'm not waiting for a little bit of light so my remaining, the night blindness isn't an issue. So it doesn't matter. I can go out when it's pitch black because it makes no difference to me. It's so weird to say I actually feel more relaxed now because the thing that I was dreading for all those years, with RP, you're going to go blind, you're going to go blind. And it's that thing in front of you. You're heading that way, and every few years it's like, oh, that's worse. And oh, no, this is going to be awful. And now I'm actually here. It's like, oh, this is so much easier. It's so much easier because you know what? I'm not trying to hide it. I can't hide it. Everyone knows as soon as they see me most of the time, you're blind. And that makes life so much more easier. I totally understand.
It's interesting. I will say as well, I didn't have the guide dog, obviously, because I'm still on training. So I wasn't able to take Coco with me. Which was actually, in some ways, I think if I had Coco with me, I'd have felt even better. Because I think it's funny. I was talking to my trainer about this, and we were chatting about how I've been reacting. And she said, look, I didn't see you when you were training when you were 19. She said, but, she did ask me the question, why didn't it work? Why didn't the partnership work for you when you were 19? And I said, I think it came down to two reasons. One was I was a teenager, right? I wanted to be out. I wanted to be going places.
Just about.
Well, yeah, clinging on a little bit. But, I wanted to be out. I wanted to be with my friends every weekend. I didn't want a dog hanging about, kind of thing. And, and I was in a lot of denial, I think, at that point. Also,
you didn't want the blind thing hanging around.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it was as well, if I'm honest, I had way too much vision. Now, what I mean by that is not that I had full vision, obviously. But the vision I did have was meaning that I was controlling the dog. The dog wasn't controlling me.
Yes.
And you need to give over to the dog. When you're doing this, you have to give over. The difference this time round, and it's stark, it really is that this time round, I don't feel any desire to try and control the dog because I can't. I mean, that's the bottom line, And people say, well, that's obvious, right? But it's like, yeah, but it's only obvious in the moment. Because when you walk with the dog and you're doing that walk, and suddenly it clicks in your head, the dog's leading me. Yeah, I'm not even trying to see what's around me anymore, and that takes a lot of the pressure off. This is the bit that I used to say to my wife a lot. I'd say, "Oh, I just turn my eyes off," and she says, "What do you mean by that? What does that even mean?" And I said, "Well, a lot of it is to do with, I think you just don't look. It's like when I stopped trying to look at people and stopped trying to make eye contact with people, which I couldn't really do. I mean, you've got even in the best of times when I had the most amount of vision, trying to hold eye contact when you've got nystagmus is a horrible thing.
Yep.
Because you're trying to hold something still that is not wanting to stay still, right? It's painful. And so trying to hold contact, but of course that's what you do because it's the natural thing to do. We make eye contact with people. When I got to a point where it was becoming so painful and I thought, I can't do this anymore. And that was another reason why I enjoyed wearing the glasses because I thought, now I don't have to. I don't think they can see. I actually can't tell if they can see my eyes or not. But I don't think they can. And even if they can, do you know what? Who cares? And then just don't get hung up on it. Let that part of it go. It does make your life a little bit easier, right? If you don't have to try and maintain the eye contact or you don't have to try. It's not that I don't expect, and I certainly wouldn't want to become that kind of person who just sits with my head bowed during every conversation. I think you should try and actively involve yourself in conversations. But you don't have to be staring at people eye to eye. Most of the time, you won't be able to anyway.
Nose to nose.
Yeah. I just don't think you need to be doing that. But I think you do need to be engaged with people. Just attempt to engage with people. If that's your thing, right? I mean, again, everyone's different.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least face the same way, face towards them, right?
I know years ago, I had a lot of blind people I would meet and they just stare off somewhere else. And I think, okay, I get it. But, you could engage. I mean, I'm not asking much here. I'm not expecting much. But, I don't feel you're engaging with me. That's the point. And so sometimes these barriers that we talk about between us and the sighted world Could it be because we're perhaps creating a barrier and literally turning our head away from the individual we're talking to? That might be a part of it. I'm not saying it's all of it, but it is, people, it's like I was saying the other day on the show about eye contact and, being one of the, I think, the biggest challenges for people who meet us. I remember once years ago, a woman who was almost trying to kind of duck around me to try and kind of almost catch my eye as she's talking to me. She was doing that thing where she's kind of like trying to catch my hi, and I'm like, this is so weird because she obviously needed the eye contact. Otherwise we can't have a conversation. I think that's why people probably don't talk to us. And if you're handing if I held my card over in the hotel to get something paid for, and then I remember that time when we had Jane with us, and the card was held back to her. It's
yes,
because they probably think, well, I can't get eye contact with him, so therefore I can't give him.
And
that
he's not going to
back.
See me holding it out.
Yeah, I mean, you could use your words, folks. Just say, "Here's your card." That works.
There is something in that, though. There is that does. You mentioned about going for job interviews and that sort of almost because you're blind, they think you lack capability elsewhere, not just in your vision. So. And I think that is because of those social cues. It is so important, as we all know. Those social events, we all know how isolated you feel. Even though you're trying your best to be, outgoing and interact with people, at the end of the day, you can't read those visual cues, and it makes it incredibly difficult. I actually don't know what the solution to that is. It is down to the other party. It's down to the other people there to bridge that gap, because there's nothing we can do about that.
I mean, especially when you go to networking events, that's the phrase I hate most in any event, and I don't do them very often these days, but is networking. It just fills me with dread. So what you're saying is, I'm going to stand in the corner of a room, hope I hear a voice I recognize so I can talk to you, but then realize that I really should be talking to other people. So now I'm in a situation where I really should be not talking to you as much. I remember being, at work, and this happened once years ago, and someone said, "Oh, you're always talking to the same people all the time." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I don't know who else is here." That's the problem. And I can't just bump into something. I suppose I could. There's an argument to say maybe just bump around and say, "Hi, who are you?" That feels a bit rude. Yeah, I don't know.
But does it? I mean, how does it work? What's the name for a gathering of blind people? Feedback at doubletaponair.com. There must be a funny name for that. But if we're at an event where, everyone's VI, it's totally different, right?
Some words go through my mind, but I won't say them.
Stop it. There is absolutely no problem. How many of us go, "Who's that? Do I hear so-and-so?" We just shout out, don't we?
Yeah,
right? Because it's all going off the voices. And, it feels perfectly natural. But that's not the same if you're not in that environment.
Well, what people do, I think what sighted people do is they walk around and they look at name badges, right? They walk around and it was funny because someone had said, one of the solutions could be you have a QR code on you, on your, or not even a QR code, barcode, whatever. It could be anything like
Navi
that.
lens, anything like that.
But also you could just have a name tag that Seeing AI could read or whatever, right? So suddenly you have all these blind people supposed to be going around holding up their phone at people, hang on a second, and then, I know exactly how this is going to play out, right? So do you. You know how this is going to play, right? That person's going to come over to you because they see you're kind of pointing a camera towards them, and they want to, and it's like, "Oh, hi, hang on a second, hang on. Oh, David Dunphy, who runs HR. Oh, hello, David Dunphy, who runs HR. How about you? Oh, hi. I could have just said, "Hi, I'm David. How are you?" Now, the thing there in that social interaction is that the reason we're using the camera is because David Dunphy, who runs HR, is never going to come over and say hello to me. I've always got to, show an interest in him that way by pointing a camera at him, even though I don't know who he is.
Oh, just don't bother.
It's ridiculous.
It's all a nightmare. Just meet everyone online. It's easier.
I think we just need
Levels
IRA.
of playing
Do you know what we
field.
need? We need IRA robots. That's what I want in the future. I want an IRA robot. I want to have a robot that I go with. I take the robot's arm, or in your case, shoulder, because you like the shoulder.
Yes, I do like the shoulder. Yes.
And then, the robot comes around and says, "Here's the idiot that runs HR." I hope, I'm just thinking here, just as I say this, I hope there's no one at AMI called David Dunphy. I haven't really checked this out. So if there is someone at AMI called David Dunphy and happens to run HR, I have absolutely no knowledge of who Stephen Scott is. My name is Shaun Preece.
That name sprang to mind very quickly.
I don't know where that came from. I don't know anyone of that name. I'll tell you who I was thinking of. I used to watch a show called Modern Family, and there was a guy in it called Phil Dunphy. And that's where that came from. Not
all right, that's a good excuse. We'll go with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done. That works. Why did we get onto this?
That reminds me of a 30 Rock
I'm still going.
episode. No, it was a 30 Rock episode, and that was exactly what happened. They were going off on this trip, and they didn't want to go. It was like they were taking the show on the road. This was Tina Fey's program back in the day, and it was a great show.
Never seen it.
Oh, so funny. And the whole thing's based at NBC. It's like a kind of Saturday Night Live rip-off kind of show idea, right? So the show's called The Girly Show, and every week they do the same kind of show. They have all the stars on. Similar idea to SNL. And this particular week, they take the show on the road. And it's all because the boss wants to see his girlfriend in a different state. So he's decided they're all going to go to this particular state, which is freezing cold, and they're all going to go there for the week. And they're all really annoyed at the boss for this. But she decides, the Tina Fey character says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with a name of someone who I really hate. So I think she comes up with John Snitterman as the guy's name. Oh, that John Snitterman who came up with the idea. It's all his fault. And then they get to this building and the guy is actually there called John Snitterman, and they all attack him. And it's very funny. Great show. Great show if you haven't seen it.
So sorry, David Dunphy, did you say?
Dunphy, yeah. David Dunphy.
Dunphy, yeah. Sorry,
I love him.
DD.
He's a great guy. Yeah. Best guy ever. In fact, you know what? He is heaven around here.
Ah, dear.
Have we got emails? I think
I think so. Yeah, that was a long intro.
Yeah, it was a bit. You know, I sorry, I was just in the mood for chatting today. Sorry about that.
I noticed. Yeah, no, it does fine, Steve.
It does happen. Right, look, let's get a couple of emails in before we go. We'll get one, maybe one. Email. One, definitely one.
Definitely one.
We get your email every day.
Ding dong.
Day.
Here's your mail today.
Ooh,
I keep telling you, Shaun Preece, I am terrible at my job.
Just terrible's fine, Stephen Scott. That's so good.
Oh, I'm terrible as well. Yeah. Right, I think it's Peter. We got Peter up first. Yeah, no. I do have my notes prepared and ready. I did something this morning. Right, here's Peter.
Hi, guys. You know what? The sound that is generated when the tip of the cane meets the ground is one of the most important things for me that helps my orientation. We can call it echolocation or whatever, but these beats make me possible, for example, keeping the same distance from a wall when I am walking alongside a building. Getting rid of that knocking sound, horror. For me, the louder the better. Okay, I'm not hitting the ground with my cane by force, but I always let gravity do its job. I would say, in my case, this sound represents 30% of white cane's function. Another topic, as I am not a native English speaker, it is not always easy for me to understand Steve's speech. I think he's quite a big king in the world of rapid speakers. The Scottish accent does not make my job easier either, but there is this new feature on YouTube that you found a few weeks ago by accident, the one that we may call AI audio dubbing, and although Hungarian is not an option yet to choose, French is, and since I understand French in a certain level, and YouTube gives me a rather slowed down synthetic voice replacement, I kind of prefer it sometimes. So, guys, when my brain gets a bit tired, I switch your voices to French TTS and listen to you in the language of Victor Hugo. Maybe one day, Hungarian translation will come. All the best from Budapest. Thanks for entertaining me for an hour day by day. Peter.
Wow, thank you, Peter. I don't quite know what to say to that, especially because I don't speak French.
Well, you do now, thanks to AI.
That's true,
In fact,
yeah.
You speak French better than you do English, apparently.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I've got to say, that's got to be on a T-shirt. I'm so not understandable. There you go.
Yeah.
Good luck with that, AI. That, I speak better to a Hungarian than French. Wow.
Yeah, there's so many levels of confusion there. No, that's really cool. It's great beautiful. That option is there. I'm just waiting to see, when YouTube have the AI audio description function built in as well. I think that can't be far off. I don't know what that's going to do to services.
I don't know. I only speak the French at weekend.
That was awful. Why did you change your tone?
I don't know. I remember once I was going into... I think it's only because I remember the French guy from Beauty and the Beast, the candle. That's everything's based off.
Don't start me off.
That was amazing. Kicked off by Disney. But no, that was my favorite Disney movie. You know that?
Okay, cool. Anyway, the tapping cane, the noise of the cane tap. Do you use it for any purpose?
Oh,
I'm trying to think. I'm sure I do
well,
subconsciously, but I don't think about it.
I'm not a tapper. I'm a roller.
Yeah, I'm a roller too. Although, no, you know what? Thinking about Peter, you are right. When I get that tingle, when I get that tingle, that there's
by the way, is egg in French.
good
Is that right?
Yes, it is.
It is. Yeah, well done.
If.
Well done, me. So, see how confident I was in that?
You just shut up a minute, right?
I'm very
totally
excitable
lost where
today. I
was.
don't know what's going on.
When I get that tingle that there's something in front of me, that sixth sense or that VI sense is 6. Yeah,
that sexual feeling.
Sense, like there's a car in front of me or something. You know what I mean? Everyone knows what I mean. I will tap the cane. I will bang the end of the cane. I use a jumbo roller ball. And when I tap it, it does give me, okay, I know how far away that object is in front of me now. So yeah, you're absolutely right. But I don't use it all the time. I wouldn't use it for shorelining. Like you mentioned, I'm physically tapping that cane off the wall.
All right, okay. No, I just roll it into it. You know what I'm like? I just bash my way along.
You're such a fast walker.
I'm not a roller, actually. I'm a basher. That's me.
You are a basher, yes.
I've heard it many times. But no, it's true. I can, and it was funny, the other night I was telling you about coming home, and where I walk, there's a building I walk past, and then when I walk past the building, I have to turn right, and then I carry on as far as there's like a grass verge, and then I turn left, and that takes me out of, it's like a car park I'm walking into. Yeah. So I have to kind of navigate around it. And it was interesting last night, or it wasn't last night, the other night, when I was taking the walk, and when I was coming along down the path, I realized I was listening for the sound of the space that opens up after the building. So you get that hollow sound, and then it kind of opens up. And at that point, I was turning right, and I thought, God, now I'm an echolocation expert all of a sudden. What is going on here? I am a dolphin. I've eaten enough tuna.
But it's fun. Stop it. It's funny, though, that when we talk, let's not bring up the whole echolocation. Everyone's capable of it. But actually, to a degree.
Is that a dolphin? Is that what dolphins are?
I think that was a gremlin. It was a mugwai. It's true. Will you stop it?
What's the noise a dolphin makes? I'm trying to think.
Get those
Gemini in here.
Right, fine. When I think of echolocation, I'm thinking of that.
That's
thing,
it,
right?
yeah.
To move
Is that
around.
not Skippy the bush kangaroo?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm saying we use it far more than that audio. Obviously, we do. And you're right. You can hear an open space, right?
It's weird. I mean, you think to yourself, oh, I can't, but you can't. And actually, the cane does help with that, especially rolling the cane. That's why my wife prefers the Pathfinder 360 cane tip. I find it just too noisy.
I tried that out.
Did you try it?
I tried it out, yes. I borrowed her cane when we were at Side Village and tried it out. It was cool. Yes, I did. Oh, yes.
Borrowed my wife as well, I noticed.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
And
well, we have words about that one.
I did. The only thing I didn't like
how nervous
about
you sound is so funny.
About the cane. The only thing I didn't like about the cane, Stephen Scott, I couldn't lean it up against the wall.
No, that's right, because it just falls all the time.
Is there a handbrake on this thing? I need to.
It needs a brake.
It in park.
I know. It was actually someone had told me the very first time I got one. They said, "Yeah, you're going to have a trouble putting that up against the wall. You almost have to turn it upside down to put it up against the wall now."
Yeah, I was in a toilet cubicle at the time, so I wasn't going to do that.
Not doing that. But did you not find the cane, that particular tip, really loud?
No, not at all. And yeah, I didn't use it
maybe.
In that environment. No, it was absolutely fine. I tell you, do I mind? The Urban Explorer I've got from a Werewolf Gear, I do find a little bit rattly. Yeah. And that annoys me. But I know that some people say I actually like that because it gives me that audio feedback. They like the loudness of it. For me, it seems a little bit too much. But I suppose it depends on the context as well. You know, if you're out and about at 6 a.m. and you're trying not to wake everyone up on the street.
That's the problem, yeah. But one morning, I think I was going down to London and I left the house at 6. And, you know, I felt like not just the street, but the entire village could hear me walk down that street.
Those kids running down those fences with their lolly sticks.
That's right.
Actually, it's that blind guy again.
Here he is. I mean, the new cane tip I got, which we bought at Side Village together, that was a beautiful moment. We tried to buy one for you, and the only... What? Can I just say...
Say it.
Please.
Go on, brother.
Side Village people, Preach. RNIB, whoever you are, when you're at these events, please sell stuff. Stop this nonsense of... tempting us with your wares. And then you go, oh, look at all this cool stuff you could have. But you can't buy it. You got to buy it online.
Well, you can buy it
here.
You can order it. but then you need to wait for it. No, I'm here now. I've got cash on
Standing in
hip.
front. I'm just a guy standing here.
Yes,
With,
telling a cane, I love it.
Yeah, telling a cane, please, can I have you? I want a no jab, and I want to buy it now.
I did. That's exactly what I wanted to buy. I wanted to buy a no jab. You can't buy it. I mean, it seems like, isn't that the point?
Missed opportunity or what?
I know. Anyway.
Well, then we have to bring all the stock. Yeah, that's kind of the point. Bring it and people will buy it.
Well, I think one of the arguments was that not enough stock was sold at these events. And I think that's because people
Didn't know
now
they
just
could buy
assume that you don't buy anything at these events because they're not available to buy. It should be. Of course it should be. I get hands-on and I want it.
I did buy a high mileage roller tip. You know me, Mr. Out and About.
Yeah, of course. That's going to last you 10 years.
And the week after I go for guide dog training. Well, what a waste of money that was.
I'll take it off your hands. Half price.
So a couple of miles left in it, I think. All right, listen, we're back tomorrow. Catch you then. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Stop it.
Ooh la la.